Here with Kat and Sarah from 925 The Beat. You've been together now on the air for over a year, and Kat, of course, let's start with you. You came over from Virgin Radio, that they were called. Prior to that, Mix 96, and the transition went well. It seemed right away. It was like an instant click, it seemed.
The last year has been the best 6 months of my life. Honestly, yes, it went very, very well, because when you work with a new partner on the radio, you never know what it's going to be like, right? Because we didn't really know each other.
At all.
At all. But I heard a lot about her. And everybody had really good things to say about Sarah. So I said, okay, this should be easy. And then the mics went on, and everything has been going very, very smooth. We get along very well. And that's the main thing, is the on-air chemistry. That was the main concern. Are we going to get along? We're going to have fun? And so far, it's been a great 3 months.
I remember when I first interviewed you, a week before you actually was the first day that you went on the air, and you had certain objectives in terms of having fun, playing a lot of music, and it seems to have worked. You seem to be, whatever you wanted to do, you seem to be doing it. You have the listeners. There's a lot of people that have come over to listen to you, new people.
Yes. We've got every single person in Montreal listening to the Meat Breakfast. That's what our bosses tell us. There's 2 people yet that we don't have. No, it's been, like I said, it's been great. Our priority was fun and music, right? So you're going to hear fun, I hope, and a little bit of music, and together the 2 have been going very well.
And Sarah, you didn't know what to expect. You never met Kat before in your life.
No.
You had been working with Aaron Rand briefly.
Yep, I did.
And so, you know, it's been a new, and I tell, there is, all seriousness, you really have good chemistry on the air. I mean, you can tell by listening.
It's funny because I'd never met Kat before we started working together, and my bosses were like, no, seriously, we know Kat, we know you guys are going to get along. And I was like, I don't know about this, I don't know this guy. But then but you know, again, similar thing, you know, get along with Kat, he's great, he's heard some really wonderful things. And then not until you actually get in to the room and start working together, and then all of a sudden we went, wow, this is quite seamless, actually. And I've been very fortunate in that way, because I've heard of horror stories where it's not necessarily like that, right?
Yeah. Okay, back to me.
Because for me, I'm usually working by myself. For most of my radio career, it's just been my show. I've never had to work with other people, so
it's like an arranged marriage, and it's a huge risk, because what if they don't get along and hate each other and have fights? And we're lucky. We're lucky it worked out.
Yeah.
That is exactly what Heather B told me last year about Terry DeMonte, an arranged marriage, and it worked for them. It's working for you. The show itself, one of the things I love is Star Talk with Bartok.
Oh, thank you.
And
that was my idea, by the way.
Was it his idea?
Was it?
I mean, it's, first of all, the great name. I mean, your name rhymes with it, but you must have a lot of fun putting that together.
Yeah, it's great. And you know what? I didn't realize how much people were really into Hollywood gossip. It's all about Hollywood gossip. And you know what? I have to say, I'm pretty proud of myself in the sense that we tend to get a lot of information really early, and we beat everybody else to the punch. And it's 3 times in the morning, 6:10, 7:10, 8:10. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of people react to it.
Yep.
How do you prepare for the show? Do you sit together after each show and talk about what's going to go on tomorrow, or is it really, you know?
We have a plan. After, we are always putting ideas on the side, like we got to do that, we got to do that. Don't forget, we got to do this. So after the show, we sort of fill in the blanks, because Star Talk is full, Battle of the Sexes is full, Match Game is full. So now we have some empty breaks.
We have a grid that we kind of follow.
Yeah. So we basically do have a discussion with our producer and go, okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to do a phone topic? What's hot? We should talk about this hot subject, and we cover whatever we think people would want to hear.
Right.
And we love having people call us too. So a couple times a week, we like to get the listeners involved.
Absolutely. And you know, it's trying to stay local, but also with the best, I think the best fodder is when something happens to us personally, and then we can bring that to the show and then relate that to the listener, and we always get great feedback.
I remember when Kat went on Twitter and you had sort of announced it on the air, and you know, there was a whole discussion about it. I mean, first thing I did is I went to follow you right away. And you know, it's just this, I guess, the everyday type of thing that people deal with, and they can relate to it, and they enjoy listening to it. And so is there always new things that you're trying to introduce to the show?
Oh, all the time.
Yes, yes, and we have a couple people who we respect who are telling us, try new stuff. Even if it fails, don't be afraid to try. And that was something that I was always a fear of, well, I don't know if that's going to work. just try it.
And push boundaries, right? Like,
yeah, so push it a little further. So we're trying different things once a week. We'll say, let's try that, let's try that. And if it fails, it fails. So we're always looking for new ideas.
But I think that's one of the big, one of the big challenges is finding something new to talk about each and every day. I mean, because we have so many breaks to fill, we have a new show, it's 5 shows a week, and so, you know, trying to come up with some creative, interactive things every day.
One final thing, I think, I know that I can see that you've brought in a lot of new listeners that were not, let's say, Q listeners, people I could tell by just, you know, being at events where you're present and, you know, a big demographic. Yes, it's a lot of females listening, but there's a lot of males, and there's even a lot of young adults listening now.
That's our goal.
Yeah, I think the goal is, I think it's a family-friendly type station that any age can listen, and we do talk to anyone from the upper 40s to the lower 20s. Throughout the show, you're going to hear something that appeals to you, no matter what age group you are.
Yeah.
All right, well, terrific. Keep up the great work, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.